Hi folks, welcome to B&T Catfishing Adventure. I'm your host, Brad Reynolds, and we're talking today about the best catfishing rig probably ever. And that is the Santee rig, or the Santee Cooper rig. Now, today's show is going to be a little different about this subject. I'm not sitting here and going to show you how to tie this and actually do it on the show. But what I will do is I'm going to leave a couple of links in the comment section. One is going to show you how I tie the hook on to this rig. And if you need to see the whole setup, there's going to be a link for how to tie the whole rig. So there you go. But I am going to explain this rig in more detail and why I think this one is the best one out there. All right, let's get started. The Santee rig was a rig that was used in a tournament and found great success, and it has been used ever since. Now, this rig consists of your hook, it consists of a float, and then your line and your barrel swivel. Then your weight is on your main line originally. Now, I'll show you a little different trick on that now. But what I like to do is snail my hook that I use, and I like to use a circle hook. And the reason I like to use a circle hook, it's safer for the fish. Now, I do use an offset hook, which increases my chances for hookup. Now, it's a little less safe than a straight inline circle hook, but generally this works really, really well at catching the fish in the corner of the mouth, and not so often is it gut hooking the fish like, let's say, a J hook would do. All right, now I like to run this anywhere from about 2 to 3 inches down off of my float. Gives it plenty of room to drop down. Now, you can use the regular styrofoam floats if you wish for this rig, or you can use like the Zara Spooks, the old rattling float. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to attract the fish by sound. All right, now not only that, if you select the right float, it might help attract the fish by sight. All right, if you're not fishing too deep, all right, and let's say your water's a little clearer, this may attract it. Now, it's, is it going to maybe attack the bait itself, the lure itself? Well, probably not. Many times there are many fish that are gathered around a chunk of bait. We see this, you throw things out and all the minnows gather around. Well, it's out there maybe looking for something a little bigger than this little small fry right here. But it looks like this fish is investigating maybe the bait, right? All right, now, on this bait has the colors that attract catfish. In this, there is black, there's pink, there's chartreuse in this bait right here. And those are all colors that attract catfish. So keep that in mind. Now, again, so we're attracted by sight to this and sound. Now, it doesn't on this particular lure have the #1 color for most catfish, and that's blue. So if you wanted to target the fish by using the blue float as well, you can do that. Now, you can find maybe a blue styrofoam float if you want to do that, or even paint it. But if you don't attach a line rattle, you miss that possible factor in attracting the fish too by sound. Okay, we want to attract the fish with this rig in as many ways as possible to get it over here to our bait. All right, so we've got the colors, we've got the float. This is designed to go all the way up to where your anchor is going to be attached. Okay, so it's on the bottom. This is going to float your rig up off the bottom and put the bait right there in front of the fish's face. Okay, now if you're anchored up or you're bank fishing, this works perfectly if you follow my other steps here in just a moment. But we want this rig to be basically about 2 to 3 feet worth of line, okay? So this is gonna float 2 to 3 feet up, but then the bait's gonna hang down, okay? So it's made up some of that difference as it comes back down, all right? Hope that makes sense, all right? Now, on this end, down here, we have our barrel swivel. Now, you can just take a regular barrel swivel if you want to, or you can take a 3-way swivel, or you can take one with the safety clip on there, okay, the quick clips, and do that. Now, your main line would come in and attach to the other end, excuse me, of the barrel swivel. Then we're going to attach our sinker, right here on the safety clip, or you can attach it, if it's a clip sinker, right to the eye of the barrel swivel where you bring your main line in the same spot. You can attach them both right there, and that will work fine as well. Now, originally on the Santee rig, you have your line coming in. A lot of times you would use a slip sinker or a no-roll sinker that was allowed to move up and down your line. Well, as long as you keep tension on that works well. So if you are dragging or drifting your baits, you're in a boat and you're moving, that rig will continue to pull, and as this drags along the bottom, that will keep your bait right where you wanted it. However, if you're anchored up or you're on the bank and there's current, there's waves from just the day itself and the wind, or you have boat traffic running up and down, it's going to cause slack in your line. When you do that on that slip, okay, sinkers, this thing is going to continue just floating up because until it reaches the tightness point there of your line, because it's going to take up that slack and it's going to put you out of the fish column where you want to be. So by preventing that with attaching your sinker down here to your barrel swivel, it's going to keep it right there on the bottom. There's no drifting up past where you want this bait to be, all right? So it's a little better, it's a little safer if you're anchored up or if you're bank fishing to go ahead and just clip it to either a clip or the 3-way or the end of the barrel swivel where the main line comes in. Also, if your line breaks at this point down here, well, you keep your barrel swivel, hopefully, and your sinker possibly. So there you go. You got that as a bonus. But again, this is a great rig. It's going, its whole goal is to float the bait up off the bottom. It's going to be there. The catfish is, their eyes, they're looking forward or they're looking up, all right? Very rarely, and they do point down and they look for food on the bottom at times. But generally, majority of the time, the fish is not angled in the water like this. They're like this, right? Whether they're on the bottom, sunk in the mud during the wintertime when it's cold, or on the bottom when it's extremely hot in the summertime. Other than that, they're up off the bottom somewhat in that fish column. And if you need to adjust your line to go a little longer because you think they're up a little higher in the fish column, you can do that as well. But this is a fantastic rig, the Santee rig, Santee Cooper rig. And like I said, in the comment section, I am posting the 2 links. Again, if you want to learn how to snail your hook, and that's all you're worried about learning how to do, is doing that, there's a link just for that. If you want to learn how to tie this entire rig, right, whether you use just a regular float or whether you use one of these fishy type of little floats, you can use either float. But the main goal of this is to get the bait up off the bottom. Now that's going to help you also if you are dragging or drifting, not get hung up as much than if your bait is just dragging along the bottom. It also helps prevent your bait from being pulled off your hook from getting snagged down there a lot of times. So hopefully you don't lose as much bait. You keep it on the hook longer, which gives you a greater chance of catching that fish. Guys, I hope I explained this well. Again, use every tool possible to catch those fish. A good hook, the proper rig set up here, and a good float with the colors also, and maybe the sound that's also going to help attract the fish. Any percent that we use to increase our hookup ratio is just going to make it for a more enjoyable fishing trip. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out those links if you need to. Give us a thumbs up and even share the video if you would like to with your friends. We would greatly appreciate it. Guys, you have a great day. We'll see you back here soon at B&T Catfishing Adventures. Have a great one.